everybody, welcome back to the Nerdly Adventures. My name is Elijah, and I have a really fun video for today because I have a little haul. I got home from work, and sitting on my front porch as I was walking out to my shed was this beautiful box with McFarlane Toys logo on it. Yes, that is right. I made a McFarlane Toys order about a week ago, and I was really surprised that it got here in a week. Now, I'm a little bit worried because on the box it says it's the 7-inch penguin figure, and I'm gonna spoil it for you and tell you that's not what I ordered. However, let's see what I did get. As always, everybody, safety first. So I don't really ever order anything from McFarlane Toys, solely for the reason of they charge a heck of a lot for shipping. Like, shipping was like $10-15 bucks, which is a lot more than I personally would like to pay. Plus, there's not really a whole lot of items in their store that are exclusive to them. However, this was one of them. Okay, here we go. So, just in case you were wondering, if this doesn't give it away... Ooh, that wasn't what I want to do. That's right, I got the ultra awesome Crisis on Infinite Earth's Wave. So, I'm a little bit nervous, because as we all saw with Aquaman, I got a platinum version. I do not want the platinums for any of these. There's only 2 platinums, and we're just going to hope and pray that I don't. So this is obviously Earth 2 Superman. We'll look a little bit more in depth at the figures. Okay, this is one that has a platinum. This is the Psycho Pirate. Did not want the platinum of this one. He looks great. So, that's another one. Kid Flash, classic Kid Flash at that. So that's the last one. All right, the next one and the last one. Oh, thank gosh. Okay, the Spectre. Yes, and I did not want the platinum version of the Spectre particularly either. So let's yeah, that's wow. Okay, this is really exciting for me. Like I said, I don't ever order from McFarlane Toys, but this is a Crisis on Infinite Earths Build-A-Figure wave of the Monitor, which was a McFarlane Toys store exclusive, and it was expensive. A typical McFarlane Toys figure from DC Multiverse is like $20 to $30, depending. Like a normal one now is like $20 to like $22. The digital ones or Build-A-Figure ones now are like $25, and then the bigger fit, like the big figs are like $40, but then like the deluxe figures are $30. These, however, were $40 a figure. Oh my gosh! This better be a really good wave, and I'm gonna spoil it for you. Not a lot of people are happy with this, myself included. However, I got it on sale, but not that big of a sale. I paid about $35 a figure after shipping. So let's get into looking at them and maybe unboxing them. Okay, so the first figure here we have is the Kid Flash. Now this is figure 1, so he has the legs for the Build-A-Figure. But yeah, I'm just going to do like a quick little individualized look at the boxes. So Kid Flash is our first figure. Our second figure up here is the Psycho Pirate. He has a platinum version, which has a different face sculpt, but he has the body for the Build-A-Figure. But yeah, this is the second figure, the Psycho Pirate. Our third figure here is the Spectre. The platinum version has it's more of a Hal Jordan Green Lantern Spectre, but he has the head and the cape for the Build-A-Figure. And last up here we have Earth 2 Superman. Now he has a wired cape, which I'm really excited to mess around with, and the arms for the Build-A-Figure. So let's start cracking these puppies open. The very first unboxing we have here is Kid Flash, and this is a figure that I've seen a bunch of people not like, and I can kind of understand that. So he uses, I believe this is the exact same body sculpt as the Flash. Obviously bar the head, but like he has the same like Flash boots, which are really high. But I mean, I think this is a great looking figure. I kind of wish his lightning bolt wasn't just painted on. His face sculpt is great, and I can really see them taking off these little antennas and using this for, I was going to say Animal Man, but they already made an Animal Man. Almost like a Geoforce figure, I think, would make for a really good reuse of that. But he comes with his only accessory being these hands, which are really small. But just like these kind of hands that are like not fists. But yeah, a lot of people were complaining that for $40 a figure, especially, should have some better accessories other than like the collectible card, which I think looks pretty good. I just wish they would use Crisis on Infinite Earth Flash instead. But yeah, so that is the Flash figure. So our second figure here is the Psycho Pirate, and this is one that I was really excited for because the Psycho Pirate is just like a really weird niche character that arguably we wouldn't really get anywhere else, but he has this collectible card which uses arguably the worst artwork because he's the one laying there on the ground. Like, there's much better pieces. This more showcases the Flash. But I really like the mask sculpt. That mask sculpt is amazing. It looks like it's painted on, but it's not. It's like actually molded on. I really like how he has like printing on the arms. And the one thing to note is this cape is way thinner than like a lot of the, it is still plastic, but it's a lot thinner. Think almost like a fruit roll-up. Like, this literally feels kind of like a little thicker than a fruit roll-up, but like it has like the feel of one. But I really wish his faces were better painted on. They kind of look crappy the way that they're painted right now. But I really like his hands. I wish he had other hands, but beggars can't be choosers. If nothing else, though, I like that they painted like a lot of the like little detailing on there. So yeah, this is the Psycho Pirate. Second to last here, we have the Spectre, and this is the one that I think I was arguably the most excited for. He has his collectible art card, which is also, I think, the coolest looking one. This is like one of the covers, I believe, for Crisis on Infinite Earth. But the figure is just immaculate. His hood is separate from his head, so you can actually turn the head, which I'm a little bit interested to see how that actually works. But his cloak has a really cool bellowing effect. His feet, like his boots there, have like a really cool arch to them. I don't think he glows in the dark like previous figures, but the other thing that I noticed when cutting out this figure is his cape has this almost like galaxy print on the inside. So it's not much, but it's just enough so that when you see the Wrath of the Spectre, you can just barely, ooh, if he doesn't fall, you can just barely see that in the back. And like, I really wish he would have had a cloth cape. I think this is a figure that would greatly benefit from one because you can do a lot more posability with him. But overall, this is a phenomenal figure, and like still not necessarily worth $40 because there's a lot of $20 to $30 figures that are quite like this. But I still think this figure is amazing. And for our last figure here, we have Earth 2 Superman. He comes with, of course, the collectible card. But this is, and I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct, this is the first character, or the first figure that McFarlane created that has the wired capes. So, Superman logo on the back there, that is really nicely done. And of course, with the wired capes, unlike like Mafex or whatever, McFarlane only has a wire in the top section here, so you can kind of make his cape bellow one way. It's nice. I just wish they had some more points of articulation. Now, I could be wrong about him being the first, but these figures were like revealed / released last year. And I'm just now getting them. And the only other time that these wired capes have actually shown up was they had the Batman movie pack that had wire capes, and they had the recent Batman and Cassandra Cain Batgirl figures with wired capes. But those all were really recent. The other thing, he comes with two hands that are like open hands. These are also ginormous. But I really like this color blue that they choose. It's kind of like a lighter blue than you would expect. He has the little bits of gray there, kind of painted on. Not nearly as bright white or gray as I would like. But like, I think this is another phenomenal figure. I don't think there's necessarily a single bad figure in the wave. I wish this was kind of molded on rather than just painted on. But like, especially with him having a wired cape, that makes for some great posability there. So let's build up the monitor. Here we go. We got, starting with the body here. Actually, I guess we really got to start with the legs. Now, this is one of those other characters where I kind of was just like, I could live without a monitor figure. The monitor is obviously only really in any of the Crises events, and other than that, he's not particularly a prominent DC character, and I am really struggling to put these legs in because I don't want to break it because, you know, kind of a hard figure to replace. But yeah, I was really surprised when they announced this wave, and especially that the Build-A-Figure was a monitor, which makes sense because They as soon as they announced this, which I was at college when it happened, because I remember the next day I went out and I ran to Target and got the Anti-Monitor figure, which I'll actually compare this to. Because I was like, okay, so this means the Anti-Monitor is going to like sell out now, because everyone's going to want to get the Anti-Monitor to go with the monitor. That was not the case. The monitor, or the Anti-Monitor, is still like, you can find him pretty much anywhere, to my knowledge at least. Alright, that's with the legs on. I'm sorry, that took me a really long time to figure out those legs. I'll put the arms on next. But as a whole, I think this was a really solid wave, a really diverse cast of characters as well. You have Kid Flash, who they've done Kid Flashes in the past. However, they weren't Wally West, they were Wallace West. Slight difference there. And that was basically after the CW Flash show, they changed up Kid Flash, and they made up pretty much an entirely new Kid Flash costume, or not really costume, like it looked the same, but they switched his they switched his race to make him African American, and then they switched his name, and they kind of switched his origin almost too, as Wallace West, the new one. And I don't know why none of these pieces want to go in here. There it goes. Pop one, you probably hear that pop. Wallace West is the brother of Iris, rather than the nephew. So that kind of also changes the dynamic there of Barry and Wallace, who I believe they would call Wally from time to time, but it's technically in continuity a totally separate character. And I do not know why I am struggling so much with this. It just doesn't want to go in there, that little ball and socket joint. Huh. But I need to get these arms in here before I put on the cape, because the cape is going to be really difficult to get on without the arms on. Make sure that that's... Okay, well that's interesting. I can't get this arm on. I don't know why that's doing that. That's weird. Let me cut the camera until I can get this arm on. Sorry about that. And it actually took me like another 2 minutes, and then I figured it out. Okay, this cape goes on in a really weird way. But yeah, I think this wave has been pretty good, and they've made really technically 2 other Crisis on Infinite Earths figures, that being the Firestorm, which was a deluxe figure, and then the Monitor, or the Anti-Monitor, sorry. This is the Monitor, which there is our Monitor figure. I think he also looks really well. He has a really nice textured feel to his cape, and it is a plastic cape. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make sure I put everything in properly. I don't like how his cape kind of doesn't want to stay in there. But that is the Monitor, and this is, I grabbed the Anti-Monitor during that break there. This is the Anti-Monitor here, which is a mega fig, so that makes sense. He was in that giant oversized box, which I don't know why he needs a box that big. And then that is him compared to the Monitor there, which I thought the Monitor was going to be a little bit bigger, especially with the price that I paid for the figures. But as a whole, ooh, and his leg just fell out. Fantastic. But as a whole, I think this was a great wave, and as great of a wave as I thought it was, I would not recommend picking this up. It was so overpriced. I mean, it was like $40 a figure, guys. I mean, especially with paying for shipping with McFarlane Toys, it's not worth the price, unfortunately. These are great figures, and especially if I had to say pick any singular one, I would go for the Spectre, because I also think that the other problem with a lot of these is if you don't have a full Crisis display, they don't necessarily fit in. So the Psycho Pirate, you would not really need this figure unless you have a Crisis display. Kid Flash could go well with a Teen Titans, but there's the Wallace West Kid Flash, there's the Wally West Flash from Rebirth, you have Barry Allen Flash, you have so many different Flashes that you can pick from, that there's no reason that you should pick up this one specifically, unless you really like it, which it's a fine figure, but for $40... Same with the Earth 2 Superman. I think this is another great solid standalone figure. However, they did just have the Superman all classic Superman, which doesn't even have the Superman logo on the back. But I mean, he was released recently, and I think he was a fine character. So this is really, I've seen a lot of people do it where they change out his head to make him not old, and that works fine. But as a whole, great wave. Sadly, I don't recommend it. So thank you all for watching, and I'm sorry for the whole bunch of DC Multiverse content. That's just what I've been picking up recently. I had a vlog filmed of me picking up some comic books, but all that footage got deleted, and I was just like, okay. Well, like, I had the footage, I just had to resave it again. And I had the whole video edited, and then I tried to export it, and I exported the wrong thing, and then I ended up deleting the footage already, and it just didn't save, and I was like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. It was like a 5-minute vlog anyway. So, hopefully my next video will be something a little bit different. I have a whole bunch of videos planned, but I've been really busy. So, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.